Welcome to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. I'm Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we're here for our second October Festive Horror episode.
Yeah. I think this is our funnest month of episodes that we've done so far.
I love a good theme.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I would like to do other holiday episodes too. Like, I'm already thinking about how there are Christmas trolls we could talk about.
Yeah.
And Krampus.
Krampus is my favorite thing ever.
Krampus. But yeah, we're really enjoying the spooky season so far. We hope you guys are too.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
I wish we weren't, this time we decided to record during the day, but
yeah,
we hope it's maybe dark and spooky where you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes I save my podcast to listen to until it's like a Saturday night.
Oh.
I don't know, with your favorite ones, you want to be like, okay, really want to pay attention to this one.
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh, totally. You're like, I don't want to miss a thing. Welcome to episode 29.
Yeah.
She said sort of confidently. Because we just released episode 28.
Yesterday.
If you'd like to know how far behind in our lives we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, we like being ahead. I don't know. We're kind of those kind of people.
And it
then we
seems
can
like...
work on more bonus stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like anytime we get too far ahead, we then immediately fall completely behind.
Life is just like that hook guy that grabs the frog off the stage, like, whoop. Yeah. That's all we have time for, folks. Oh, I know. Yeah, because we record a Patreon episode every few episodes or so then it's like, yeah, we're constantly trying to stay ahead of the rat race.
Yeah.
Well, we just had to stop and blow our noses because we're 100.
Yeah.
Allergies are fun.
Mine, it's just fall. Cold weather. Every time.
Man.
I'll be like this until spring.
Sorry if I sound more stuffed up than usual. No. What are we talking about today? I guess we should say.
Yeah, we're doing like Halloween night murders or Halloween day murders, I guess. Any murder, crime, something that happened during the 24 hours that is October 31st.
That is to say, Halloween crimes.
Yeah. Yep. Mine's definitely a murder, but Halloween crimes.
Yeah, true crime. Why is it always murder? Why? Yeah, there's just as much crime on Halloween night as there is any other night of the year, or more, as I will get to highlight.
Yeah. I know my case is probably, like, my worst nightmare associated with, like, Halloween night, I guess.
Ooh, great. Peer deep into the psyche.
Yeah, I'm like, as I was researching, I was like, imagining this happening to me, even though it never would, but just imagining this happening to me, and I was like, this is very, like, legit, like, horror movie-esque, where it'd be like, yeah.
That's the scariest kind of horror, that one that just could happen to you, could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Kind of horror. Yeah.
So, my case is the murder of Peter Fabiano, because, of course, as soon as I read his name, it was like, I have to do this no matter what it's about, because his name's Fabiano.
It'd be funny if you were like, and today I'm covering the case of Fabio and the goose that flew into his face on the roller coaster. It happened on Halloween. No, it didn't. I don't think.
But
That's funny. Fabiano.
Yes. So, on Halloween night, Peter Fabiano heard his doorbell ring just after 11 p.m. This is a really...
I have a doorbell.
This
could happen to me.
Nights also happen where I live. No. So this is a really old case. It actually occurred in 1957, so keep that in mind.
Oh, wow.
It's really old.
It was the 50s.
It was the 50s! Yeah. So Peter Fabiano, him and his wife, they go to bed. Pretty much they turn their lights off. It's 11 p.m. and the doorbell rings. So he gets up. He's really annoyed because it's 11 p.m. Halloween night. All the kids are supposed to be done trick-or-treating. Nobody's supposed to be ringing his doorbell.
Yep, the lights are turned off. Your jack-lanterns are blown out. It's like, no.
So he answers the door and sees that a final trick-or-treater is at the door, but they are dressed differently than the others, and they're not a child.
So already you're pissed because you're like, you're too old to be out, buddy.
Yeah.
And now it's too late at night. It's so rude.
Yeah, just the rudest. Come on. So the person on the doorstep was wearing, quote, a grotesque, garishly painted face with a domino mask. You know, the little... I tried to look it up because I didn't know what a domino mask was, and it's kind of just like the little, like, eye mask that just covers the top of your nose. It was like the Batman Robin original, like, masks. Kind of those ones.
Right. Weird. So it just, it doesn't barely cover anything else in their face, but it's they're like around their eyes.
Around your eyes, the bridge of your nose. That's about it. And they were...
You could have just grabbed what are those called? The balaclavas or whatever? They go all the way over.
Yeah. And the rest of their face was, like, painted, which is also weird. So they were wearing blue jeans, a khaki jacket, and red gloves. So they were, like, kind of covered head to toe.
So he looks like a classic robber. Like, now I'm picturing, like, money bags with dollar signs and, like, the striped black and white shirt.
Sure.
This is like a picture book.
So Fabiano has answered the door, sees this person on his doorstep, and is quoted as saying, "It's a little late for this, isn't it?"
Aww.
Which, that's
relatively gentle.
Yeah. And the figure replied in a deep voice with a simple no.
It's like, well, it's still Halloween, so it's not that random, but it's like The Strangers or something when they're like, is Tamara home? After they
I just watched The Strangers. They Stalk at Night or something. Whatever the second one is that has the girl from Good Girls in it. Because I've actually never seen... I don't remember seeing the first Strangers. But when I was watching when I was watching that movie, I had researched this already, and it's funny that you just mentioned that, because that was immediately where my thought went in hearing this, was, it's like The Strangers. And then it was like, gosh, that's my worst nightmare. Like, Halloween night, you've gone to sleep after hearing your doorbell ring, like, 150 times, because kids want candy, and now it's all silent, there's nobody out on the street, and you just hear it at 11 p.m., just ding-dong. Like, oh, that'd be so creepy.
It is. It's a freaking creepy trope. Yeah. Anytime there's someone, like, in a driveway or just standing there staring at you through the window. Yeah. It's like, ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Do not.
So, Fabiano asks, "It's a little late for this, isn't it?" And the masked figure says no. And they raise a gun that's concealed in a brown paper bag and shoot Fabiano once, just below his heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this is why millennials do not answer the door.
Yeah, right.
We are too scared. Oh my god. I'm not joking, because, like, I hope he lives, but it's just like, Jesus Christ. How do you know what the other person on the end of the door has? We're in Canada, so there is a lot less guns, and I'm a little less scared of it maybe than some. But it's like, Jesus. So random, would seem at this point.
Yeah, it seems extremely random, but we'll get to it. So, a tiny bit of background, what I could find. Peter Fabiano was a 35-year-old. He was the owner of a hair salon. His wife's name was Betty. And...
Betty!
Yeah, Betty Fabiano. Betty is such a great name. So, Betty was 36. She was described as a red-haired beauty. And she actually had 2 children from a previous marriage. As far as I could tell, her and Fabiano hadn't had any children.
Aw, okay, so she's a mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Peter had served in World War II before opening his hair salon. Or beauty salon, I guess. Yeah.
That's crazy different career choice after, like a career switch. But so cool.
And he had actually had one minor bookmaking charge on his record, and that was from 1948, so about 9 years before the shooting. But he had turned his life around. He had gone clean, and after the shooting took place, police couldn't really connect anything from this shooting back to any of the minor crime he had been involved with before.
Yeah, does that have to... Do you know what that means? I can't remember. Does it have to do with, like, gambling or something like that?
Yeah. Bookmaking, I think, is taking bets. Like, sports bets.
He's a bookie. Ah.
Yeah. The couple lived in San Valley, California, in the U.S. in 1957. What's the
good old U.S. Bay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of listeners there. Hi. We love you.
Yeah. That's really all, the background I could find. There's a bit more.
Okay.
We'll get into it later.
Ooh.
So, back to Halloween night. Peter's just shot, so Betty hears the gunshot and then, a thud on the ground. So she runs to the front door and finds her husband unconscious, and she sees the gunshot wound to his chest.
Oh, was the guy still there?
No.
With the mask? Oh, no. Okay.
So Betty's 15-year-old daughter, Judy Solomon, again from a previous marriage, called 911, and they did come and pick Peter up, but unfortunately he did die on the way to the hospital.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Not surprising, though, given where he was shot.
Yeah. Just, right below his heart. Just an inch or so.
They were not shooting to wound. They were shooting him to kill. Right. Wow.
So, Betty, it's said that she remained sedated for a few days after Peter's death before making herself available for questioning by the police. So that's understandable. I mean...
Yeah. She's still cooperating.
Betty told police she'd heard 2 voices that night, one masculine and one that sounded like a man impersonating a woman.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah. So, papers at the time dubbed the crime the trick-or-treat murder.
Ew, they just had to give it a little cutesy name, though. I mean, I think that's kind of gross.
You're going to be even more grossed out by what a local paper captioned it when they ran the story a few days later.
Oh, no.
They captioned it, quote, "a murder as fantastic as the spirits of Halloween."
Oh, I don't think that's a great choice of words.
Nope. I did not like that one bit.
Ugh.
Yeah, whoever did that's a slime ball.
And the wife could for sure read it.
Yeah.
And probably did.
Yeah, you should never describe a murder as fantastic.
Yeah, that's one profession that's really, unfortunately, gone downhill, and a lot of people are just into the sensationalism and stuff.
Yeah, even in the 50s, it happened.
The headlines, I just heard this, the headlines were like the original clickbait.
Yeah,
because they have to grab your attention. Yeah,
you gotta have a good thumbnail, a good front page, a good catchline, tagline.
And if he's innocent, it might be in the last paragraph or something that you
Right?
might not even read. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on page 82. You know, after the cartoons.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So it took police about 2 weeks to start narrowing down kind of a plausible suspect list. And they kind of arrived at a 40-year-old woman named Joan Rabel.
Okay.
And she was a divorced freelance photographer who had briefly worked in one of Fabiano's beauty salons.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
But did they have an affair?
We'll get to it. So Joan, the suspect, told police that the Fabianos were, quote, 2 of my closest friends.
Aww.
So police noted, however, that she was actually lying. She did not like Peter Fabiano at all.
Oh. They're like, yeah, it wasn't too hard to find it.
Yeah, right?
We can talk to people, you know.
Right? You don't just talk to one person and then call it quits.
I mean, some cops might, but
Yeah.
I'd like to think that most don't.
Yeah. So Peter and Betty had actually hit a rough patch in their marriage a few years earlier, and they had lived apart for a period of time, like at least a few months. And during this separation, Betty was actually living with Rabel, and they formed a pretty tight friendship. Yeah.
Friendship, you don't
They were
say.
roommates.
Oh, 1957 roommates.
Yeah.
Roommates.
They were roommates.
Peter. I got the wrong end of the stick with that one. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be the man.
Nope. So,
Oops.
Peter...
There I go being all hetero. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, it's still it's a twist I wasn't expecting, but it's it's like still
Just
that kind of that love triangle.
That meme of they're lesbians, Harold. Have you heard of that before?
I don't know.
Oh, it's online all the time. It's like a movie theater or whatever, and they're watching I think they were watching this like older couple were watching Carol when it first came out, and they were in a movie theater, and Harold just goes over and goes, "Are they in love?" And then the wife just looks over and goes, "They're lesbians, Harold." Something. Anyway.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Nice. Love a good meme.
Yeah. So it's understandable, but Peter did not like how close the girls were. And when Betty and Peter eventually decided to get back together, Peter agreed on the condition that Betty never see or speak to Rabel again or even say her name in his presence. So he was pissed.
Why can't they just get a divorce if they're not?
Right?
Like, well, sounds like she might want to give it another try, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to say with Joan. Like, not Joan, Betty. There isn't a lot of, like, how she feels in this situation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Police figure this all out, and Joan Rabble was arrested on November 16th, but she insisted that she had nothing to do with Peter's death, and that she was home with her car out front all night long.
By herself.
Yeah. So police questioned the neighbors, and the neighbors said that Rabel's car was in fact out front all night, but she was witnessed getting into a vehicle that she had borrowed from a friend that she then used to drive 37 miles that same night.
Oh, Joan.
Right? Yeah.
Your lies are unraveling now.
Right? Just all of them are unraveling on her. So police then question her about this, and she admits to it, but says that she was going for groceries, and was persistent that she did not shoot Peter.
Sure.
Sure, Joan, sure. And while Joan had already lied to police about a few things, she was actually telling the truth about not being the shooter.
Oh, for crying out loud. Really?
Yep. And without direct evidence, Joan Rabble was released while police continued their search into what really happened. I do have to say I had heard this case before, and I cannot remember where I heard the case.
Yeah.
But when I heard it, I was just like, what is even going on? And it was kind of confusing. And me researching myself didn't really make it any less confusing. But I still liked it, because it was like, it's like a murder love triangle on Halloween night. With...
And you got your, like, main suspect.
Yeah.
And then, like, if this were a horror movie, you'd be like, well, it's obviously her. Because who else do we know that has any motive against them? And then, yeah, it's like, well, at least the cops didn't just make, like, well, circumstantial enough. Like, she did it. She must have. You know what I mean? At least they kept looking.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So,
but, like, it's like, what?
1 month later, so they're still searching. So it's been a month, and an anonymous tip leads cops to a rented locker in a department store, which I'll never understand. Why were people renting lockers in department stores or train stations?
That is odd.
Yeah, it seems like such a 50s thing. I just don't really understand.
They just, like, had a little storage container on the side of, like, the Walmart.
Yeah, like, so weird.
Yeah.
But inside this rented locker in the department store, there was a .38 caliber pistol that the ballistics confirmed was the murder weapon. It had been used to shoot Peter Fabiano.
Oh, so it was discarded there, more or less.
Not very well, but...
Yeah.
Because they rented a locker to hide a gun.
Yeah, like, you could have thrown it in the garbage.
Yeah, right? So, police searched the sale records of gun stores in the area and were led to the owner of the gun. I'm gonna call her Goldine Pizzer, because that's what all my sources said. But in the newspaper articles I found that are from the 1950s when they originally reported this, they have her listed, like, my sources said her name was spelled Goldyne, Goldine. Oh. And then some of them, instead of a Y, it was an I. And then some of them, instead of a Y or an I, it was a W, because that is totally random. So...
How is the Pokemon spelled? Isn't there... I heard there was one that goes Goldine, 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 Goldine.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. You'd have to ask Rain.
True. Which, yeah, she does have a Pokemon book, so she might know. I think I heard it from a podcaster.
Oh,
okay. Okay, so her name is something.
Yeah, Goldine Pizzer. Pizer. Pizzer. Her first name's awesome.
Pizer.
Yeah, Pizer. I'm gonna call it Pizer, because Pizzer is...
Right, and, like, Pfizer is Pfizer.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So Pizer. Goldine Pizer. So she...
Who the fuck is this bitch, anyway? That's what we really want to know.
Let's just say this love triangle has another love triangle.
Oh, God. Is it a love hexagon?
It's like a Rubik's Cube. I don't know who's in love with who anymore.
Oh my God, a pentagram.
Yeah, a pentagram. Yep. So Goldine Pizer was a 40-year-old lab tech at the Los Angeles Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And like Betty, Goldine had reddish hair, although she was described as matronly in local news. So apparently they didn't... I have to say, in like the pictures of them, Betty is by far more attractive than these other two women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got like
strange.
classical like pinup girl hair, I think, because her husband was running beauty salons, but she had some great hair, and I don't know, she had like a very naturally nice face.
Damn. Matronly is not a very nice word for them to call this other lady.
Yeah.
Poor Goldine.
Yeah. So when Goldine was questioned, she revealed to police that she was the one who pulled the trigger, and she had said it was not her fault, and that she was in love with someone and she had done it for them. Do you want to guess who she was in love with?
I hope the guy? He seems left out. Peter?
Nope. She was in love with Joan Rabel. Rabel.
Oh my god. This is like, what was I just reading the other day? It's like, oh, the tropes in the movies. It was this show with Rob Lowe. And it was like, oh, the funeral shot with when you're like, someone's standing watching a funeral from afar. And then it was like, it showed the Fast and the Furious one where like, was it Fast and Furious? And then somebody was standing back behind watching him watch the funeral. It was like, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so confusing. Or like one of those scenes where like somebody has a gun and then you pull back and the person behind them has a gun on them.
They like drop it.
Yeah. Everyone's got a gun on him. Oh my god.
Yeah. So it is reported, I guess I didn't have it in my notes anymore, but it's reported Goldine is like kind of meek. She like crumbled immediately when police started questioning her. She spilled everything. Like just blah, word vomit, the entire story.
But she was ballsy enough to shoot the husband of the woman that the woman she loved.
Right?
Or something.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, this one's weird. They're not weird, but this case is weird.
Fuck, that's a fuck of a motive.
So, police brought Rabel back in for questioning, and she sat silently. Apparently, they had them in the same room together. So, while they were questioning Goldine, they had Rabel, like, sitting in the room, and she sat there silently. Well, Goldine just spilled the entire beans on everything.
Goldine, spilling all the beans. Oh my god.
Yeah. So when...
it was her idea?
Rabel, yeah. Rabel. I can't remember how I said I was going to pronounce her name already. Rabel. So when Peter and Betty Fabiano had lived apart, and Betty was living with Joan, they may have been romantically involved. It's, like, not confirmed, but possibly. Or Joan at least wanted it to be, and Betty was either into it or not, I guess. And this possibly was causing Peter's conditions for their reunion, that Betty no longer see or speak even Joan's name.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm up to speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
So Joan is pretty lusted after by these other two women.
Possibly, yeah. At least Goldine is in love with her. I don't know how Betty feels about her.
Right, because Betty went back to her husband.
Yeah. So, during the time that Betty was actually living with Joan, Joan and Goldine at the time had known each other for about 3 years, and at that time were believed to be romantically involved. So Joan and Goldine were actually pretty much together at the time that Betty was living with Joan. Yeah. So
Joan has some appetites.
If you saw a picture of her, you would be cringing right now. Well, she isn't. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she is.
I might have to look her up.
Kind of scary looking.
Oh god. Okay.
Like the ones that look nice and are all dressed up, that's Betty and her husband. And then the one
okay. That makes sense, yeah.
So...
yeah, Joan has shorter hair.
Yeah, she's got shorter dark hair. And then Goldine, there's really only one picture of her, and that's the one of her and Joan together outside of the courthouse. They're both wearing those, like, long coats. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. That's a lot of chin and nose and...
Right?
Is that Quentin Tarantino?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, when I said, like, Betty was by far more attractive, yeah.
You were being kind.
Yeah, they're not the most attractive women.
Oh my god. The actors that would play them in the movies.
Would
the
be way more.
Yeah.
They would be putting on like, fake noses and chins and warts.
No, they're just like beautiful, and then you see at the end the real people and you're like, what? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they were probably together at the time that Betty was living with Joan. And Joan began to obsess about supposedly spiriting Betty, the woman that she adored, away to live a better, a different kind of life. I guess with her. And Rabel spent hours telling Goldine how Peter Fabiano was, quote, evil and vile, a man who was destroying everything around him. Goldine says that Rabel said that he mistreated his wife and he was dealing in narcotics, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. She's the only one that knows about it, apparently.
Yeah. And Goldine told police that Joan had told her that he was bothering her at home. So I assume when they, like, lived together that Peter was maybe harassing and, like, calling the house to speak to his wife, Betty.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he still wanted to be with her and stuff. It's like, of course he's gonna call sometimes. I don't know. Okay.
So
she's just, like, saying a bunch of shit to try and make him look bad.
Yeah. I personally don't think he did anything. Because the police couldn't find anything, too, so... Goldine said that Peter was all Joan would talk about, and after 2 months, Goldine had a deep hatred for a man that she had actually never even met. So at this point, she had never even met him, and she had, like, a seething hatred from him. So be careful how you talk to people about others, because maybe they'll go and murder them for you. I don't know.
Right? It's like, yeah, careful what, like, lies you tell.
Yeah. So Goldine says, quote, Joan and I discussed killing Fabiano many times. She said during her confession, we were undecided whether we should use poison, a knife, or a gun. And so they were just all over the place.
My God.
So using the money that Joan gave her, Goldine bought a gun, and she told the salesperson at the time that she wanted to use it for home protection, but it's really strange. She only bought 2 bullets. So
she was only planning to have 2
home invasions.
Yeah.
So Joan had even taken Goldie into the beauty shop now, kind of like as a stakeout so that she would know what Peter looked like. It is said that she maybe even had him over to the house, but I highly doubt that with how much he didn't like Joan.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely they were sitting outside the beauty shops.
And basically she was like, well, if it's Betty, don't shoot. If it's a guy, it's probably Peter.
So Joan decided that Halloween night, with strangers everywhere and people in disguises, and that this was all expected and normal, that it would be the perfect time to strike. So...
yeah. Well, that's...
I mean, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that's not totally stupid.
No. So, Halloween night, 1957, Joan picks up Goldine at her home, driving the borrowed car I mentioned earlier, and Goldine is dressed in a pair of jeans, a khaki jacket, a hat, and red gloves. She's wearing a domino mask and has dark face paint on, and this was all used to disguise her face, even though it's presumed, like, Peter wouldn't know her anyway.
Yeah.
So they hid the gun that they had purchased inside a paper bag, and the pair drove the car to Fabiano's home, and they parked outside around 9 p.m. And they waited for 2 hours until the bedroom lights went out and the house finally went dark. So I feel like, yeah, they waited for 2 hours. That's the part that kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, that's definitely premeditation.
Yeah. So Goldine said that, I guess finally, that she would do it. I guess maybe there had been some hesitancy on her part about being the one to actually shoot him. So she decided...
So, like, that's in cold blood.
Yeah.
The coldest blood. You've never even met the man.
Right?
Probably.
So she finally said that she would do it, and she took the gun with her, walked to the door, and rang the doorbell 2 times, and Peter Fabiano answered. Goldine, of course, shot Peter. It said that her hands were shaking, but she somehow managed to shoot him once and just narrowly miss his heart. Like, it would have been a perfect dead-on shot to the heart.
She knew her way around a gun, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
also,
I'd assume so.
Pretty close range, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. They said it was within, like, centimeters, so I think you'd still have to be a pretty good shot.
Yeah, for sure.
So she returned to the car, and it said that Joan said thank you and kissed her, I guess. They then drove and dropped the car off, and this part, I don't know. Joan's a psycho. So they dropped the car off and parted with Joan telling Goldine, quote, "Forget you ever knew me," and walked away.
Yeah. Bitch.
Right? Oh. Psycho.
No. She's a cunt. I'm gonna say it.
She's a psychopath.
That's, like...
Yeah.
The ultimate user.
Right? Absolutely. So Goldine, it said that she cut up and burned the clothing used in the disguise the next day. And she stowed the gun in the locker until the police found it with the remaining bullet of the 2 she had bought still inside.
That seems something like, no offense, but that a dumb guy would do.
Right?
Not a woman.
Yeah. So, charged with first-degree murder, Joan pleaded not guilty, and Goldine pleaded insanity. And the 2 women's demeanors were reported to be quite different in court, with Goldine often weeping or stricken with remorse, and Joan either, quote, hollow-eyed and stone-faced or smiling nonchalantly.
Ew.
Yeah. And so Goldine said that Joan had cast a spell over her and had manipulated her into killing Peter Fabiano. She said,
put a spell on you. Yeah.
She says, quote, "I had no motive personally. Whatever motive I had was to please Joan. I was always easily influenced. I had been impressionable and always trusting." Well, maybe if you know that about yourself and you're getting, like, manipulated into shooting somebody, maybe just don't do it.
Yeah, you should still have a moral compass if you're not a sociopath or whatever.
Don't shoot people, even if it's for love. So, a judge ordered 3 psychiatrists to examine the women, and they said, quote, "The only thought she had was that she had saved her friend," in quotes, friend, Joan, from an evil person. So she really thought she was saving Joan, and Joan thought she was saving Betty.
Oh, sure. Okay, guys.
Even though I believe nothing, Peter wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah. He just loved the wrong woman.
Yeah. So on March 11th in 1958, just before their trials were supposed to start, they both ended up cutting a plea deal for second-degree murder. And Goldine wept as she recounted the night of the shooting in front of a jury, and reports say Joan smiled as she was led out of court that day because they got their plea deal. Yeah. The deal sparked a public outcry, viewing it as being too soft on the killer, but the court and judges did not believe that a jury would actually sentence Goldine to death for killing a stranger, or that Joan would even be found guilty as an accessory.
Oh, they just thought that, did they?
Yeah. So, because they were women in the 1950s. Women weren't capable of murder.
This is still, it was in America though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still had the death penalty.
Yeah.
We don't.
No. So
Not bragging. No.
in the end, they each accepted the plea deal for second-degree murder, and they were both sentenced to just 5 years to life in prison. This was starting in 1958.
That is such a weird sentence.
Yeah, 5 years to life in prison. Okay.
That, yeah, I've
Could have done like 25 years to life in prison. I think that's more standard, 25 to life, right?
Probably, maybe that's for first degree murder, though. I don't know.
Maybe. 5 is too little.
My case has some similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, because it was the 1950s, it's unconfirmed how long each of the women spent in prison. The rest is really kind of like speculation. Depending on your source, it varies like dramatically. But according to the LA Times, Goldine was eventually released and remained in the Los Angeles area. And in 1971, she was made an officer of the Miracle Mile chapter of the Professional Women's Club.
Okay.
Possibly. Again, this isn't like super confirmed. And it is said, because they know even less about Joan, they like know nothing about her background or anything. They don't even know really how old she was when she came to America, where she came from, anything. She reportedly died at the age of 83 in 1998.
Oh, wow.
Or sorry, that was Goldine. Goldine died at the age of 83 in 1998. Joan was presumably released at some point, but there's little trace of her after 1957, so they don't even know when she died.
Oh, okay, they lost track of her.
Yeah. It is reported that, in some reports, that Betty sold the beauty salon after Peter's death and appears to have gotten remarried. And there was a woman named Betty Fabiano who passed away at age 81 in the Palm Desert, California area. But this is not confirmed to be the same Betty Fabiano. Because she got married, so her last name possibly could have changed.
But, yeah, could be, though.
In addition to his wife, Peter Robert Fabiano, 35, was survived by his father, Paul, 2 sisters, 3 brothers, and the 2 stepchildren from Betty's previous marriage, and their names were Judy and Richard.
Oh, those poor kids.
Yeah, right? Especially Judy, like, helping and calling 911 and everything. Oh.
Yeah.
Just horrific.
And then all that stuff comes out after about your mom.
Yeah. I say, there isn't much about, like, Betty's place in all of this. Like, but, yeah, these 2 women just kind of went crazy over each other.
Right.
Yeah.
They went baddie for Betty. No.
Yeah, and then Goldine went baddie for Joan, and
she was jonesing for Joan.
Yes, perfect.
I can do this all day. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
oh,
so that's...
Fuck, there's a truck backing up now.
Oh.
That was really good, though.
But yeah, so that's the unfortunate Halloween night murder of Peter Fabiano.
Dude.
Yeah.
Poor Peter.
Yeah, as I said, I had heard this one before, because I didn't recognize any of it until I saw the name Goldine, and I remembered people being like, this is just the greatest 1950s first name ever, Goldine. And then it was like, oh yeah, this story. And then it like all came back to me. But
yeah, I don't know if anyone's covered it on can't remember if it's been on any of the major ones like Wine and Crime or whatever, but that's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't really know it.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's my greatest fear. It is very like The Strangers, of like your doorbell ringing late at night, Halloween night, and a weird person standing there and murdering
Except
you.
for that one, or yeah, I think it's that one where they're like, well, why are you doing this? Because you were home, and there really was no connection or motive, and that's truly terrifying.
Yeah,
Ooh,
It's like the same
good
reason I
job.
haven't watched any of the Purge movies. I don't think I could handle it.
Oh my god. I have. I think they were pretty good.
I'd
We'll
have to
probably
say when they
talk
do
about it in mine.
when they
Sorry.
talk about crazy people like building bunkers in their yard, yeah, I'd be building a bunker for the Purge and I would just lock myself in there.
Yeah, you can just travel that day. You just don't have to be home. I don't know.
I will be on a single-manned sail ship in the middle of the fucking ocean. Thank you very much.
Don't come in here. My dog will bark at you.
Yes. Bailey will do nothing because now she's not afraid of strangers. Boo. She used to at least like
She is cute.
make a huge racket and run under my bed so that if something was going on, I'd know right away. But now she doesn't even do that, so I'm truly by myself again.
I know. She liked me last time I came
Yeah.
over. She even gave me a little love.
Yeah.
We wore her down.
Yep. Yep. Well, she got a little isolated during COVID too. That didn't help. Yeah.
Well, shall we take a quick break before my case?
Yeah.
Alright. Ready for more true crime?
Yep.
I am.
So much.
Alright. But we're not going to be happy because it's true crime.
Yeah.
So there's always a victim, sadly. So my crime starts with Carl Jackson, who was a Bronx resident and worked as a data entry clerk at Morgan Stanley, an investment banking company. So Bronx, New York, obviously.
Yeah. Sounds familiar. I know Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, he had a good job.
Yeah.
He had a good job. He was really young. He was 21 on the night of October 31st, 1998.
Wow. Yeah, really good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. And also, I heard I listened to like one podcast after I'd read a few articles, but there wasn't much on the articles. There wasn't much on this case. So, yeah, he might have even been a computer programmer, not a data entry clerk, but a lot of things said he was a data entry clerk. But either way, yeah, it's still good job at a good company.
Yeah.
He was a quiet man, said everyone who knew him, including his parents, a nurse and postal worker. He was known to avoid going out on Halloween, saying that it was dangerous and he didn't like to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that, yeah.
It's true. Well, we'll get to it. But, like, yeah, pranks and lots of people out and people in costumes and masks and identities are hard to, make out, I guess.
Do you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right?
Yeah, I've seen lots of it, just not, like, all up to date on the latest seasons or whatever.
It's in one of the older seasons, but they do a thing about how they hate Halloween and they end up...
Oh.
Do you remember that one? They have a whole bunch of cases and like half of them end up drunk and they're just, it's like the worst night ever.
Oh, it sounds familiar, yeah.
And they're just
I
like,
love
this is
a
why
holiday
cops...
episode.
Yeah, like cops hate Halloween because everybody's masked and everybody's an idiot and everybody's drunk and partying and...
Yeah. Yep, that's a theme with mine, is that pranks can be dangerous.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway, I guess, for my... Yeah.
I don't like it. That's one of my, like, pet peeves is people that do that stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, because stuff can be dangerous. I mean, like, maybe not just, like, TPing and stuff. That's usually pretty harmless,
Yeah.
But, like, certain other things. So... Yes, foreshadowing.
Oh,
I know, it's not.
I'm bummed
not
already.
Do you want to be? You will be bummed. Yes, prepare for the bummedness. So Carl Jackson, he and his girlfriend were on their way to pick up her son from a party. He was like 9 or something, so they planned to leave him at home with a babysitter and head out to a Halloween party on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was around 11 p.m. and they were parked, I believe, at the house to pick up the son. And they were still in the car, and some teens began pitching eggs at the car.
Ugh.
And, yeah.
Stupid teens.
Yeah, and the people, like, you're, like, so dumb because the person's right there.
Yeah.
Carl confronted them, the youths, but, they're not much younger than he is, obviously. And he kind of told them off for the damage to the vehicle, and he then got back into the front passenger seat. It was at that time that one of the boys pulled a gun out and shot him in the head.
What the hell? Oh my god. Yeah.
Completely without any basically no provocation,
Oh my god. If you're immature enough to be egging a car, why the fuck do you have a gun?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. That's all on this kid. They're old enough to know better, though. I say kid, but you know what I mean.
Oh my.
This one is really senseless, and that's what got me about it.
I can't even understand it. Like, what the heck? All he did was told you off for egging the car. Which it's not like he wrongly accused you of it. He watched you do it. Oh my. Yeah,
it's so bad.
So stupid.
Yeah. Oh my god. And sometimes I have to cover the ones that make me angry.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I haven't heard much about this one, and I don't know why that is, because it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
His poor mother, Gloria, said, quote, I think it took us 2 years to even talk about it. We were just devastated. We never thought that anyone from our family would be murdered, especially on a holiday, for something stupid.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's really maddening. The guy, Curtis Sterling, was 17 when he was arrested for the crime.
Oh my god.
So, almost an adult.
America. Like, 17-year-old egging people's cars and carrying a gun at the same time.
He's not the type of kid that should own a gun, exactly.
No. He's also old enough, like, why the fuck do you think egging somebody's car is funny?
I know, it's like he really wanted to go out and start a fight. Yeah.
Does he not have a girlfriend? He's taking his pent-out rage on a dozen eggs? Like, what the hell? Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have a cup of green tea or something soothing? Because it's not going to get any better.
I would like an entire thing of vodka right now. So I can immediately forget your case until I'm editing this episode and then just get angry again.
And then somebody roll her a big doobie. Okay, no. So, yeah, this guy was 17. He was apprehended after about a 2-week-long manhunt, which culminated in him trying to sell the gun to an undercover officer.
Loser.
But I think it was a little unclear when I was researching it, but it appeared that might have been part of the sting operation to capture him. Like, you know how they'll, like, set them up or whatever? Yeah. Because there was, what was it? I think there was also an anonymous tip that happened from somebody who was with him. So they were, like, on to him either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, none of it makes him any smarter, of course. No, it's stupid. No. But he was convicted, so thankfully that happened. Good. And he was sentenced to 20 years for the killing.
Okay. I can handle that.
Yeah, that I thought was fairly decent. This was a while ago, like I said, so he was released on parole in 2015 after serving 17 of those years.
Okay. I was gonna say, if he got out in no less than 15, I would be happy with that.
Yeah. And he was 17 when he went in, so he did, that was half his life at that point.
Good.
I hope he was reformed. Yeah.
It just ended somebody's life. I hope, you definitely deserve to have half of your life at that point ruined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. Because, he
so
was
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh
A promising young man.
Did they think throwing an egg at somebody's car, that person isn't going to tell you off? They're just going to get out of their car and be like, haha, great, hit it a couple more times, I love it.
I know, I almost wish there had been more details, because it was, like, kind of unclear whether they saw them in the car, did it on purpose to make it that much more aggravating, you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. They didn't even say whether or not, like, they had got the kid out of the house yet. It was...
Oh my gosh,
weirdly,
I hope not.
There wasn't a lot of details.
I feel bad enough for the girlfriend, but I really hope that child wasn't in that car when he got shot in the head.
Yeah, it was hard to find stuff on this one, unfortunately. Yeah. But this was by no means an isolated incident. So, according to the New York Times, over the years, at least 24 people in the New York City area have been seriously wounded or killed in various, quote, stabbings, shootings, beatings, or accidents sparked by egg-throwing confrontations around Halloween.
What? 24?
And I don't know how... Yeah, like over the years, I guess.
Oh my god.
That's a lot.
What is wrong with people?
I'm sorry.
Like, I get it. I'd be mad if somebody egged my house or something, but... like, that's
it's
what the
really,
hose
there's got to be a better
for.
way to get your jollies off. I don't know.
Yeah, ugh.
Yeah. So, the rest of that is... Yeah, that was quoted from the New York Times. So, all 24 cases played out roughly the same way. A group of boys hurled eggs at pedestrians, cars, or houses. The targets confronted the throwers, and violence erupted. End quote.
Oh my god. Don't be doing shit like that if you don't want to be confronted, okay?
Yeah. Ugh, I don't even know. Uncomfortable laughter is my only response.
Yeah. Oh, it's so heartbreaking and unnecessary.
It's so senseless.
So senseless and stupid and unnecessary.
Can't you just, I don't know, go to a Halloween party and annoy some cute girl or something? I know, that's not a good...
No, get drunk and just pass out in your buddy's couch?
Just
like, what?
Dress up, watch a horror movie, pretend to stab each other, I don't know. Drink some, what is that, swamp water when you just mix a bunch of alcohols together? Well, that might not be a good idea either.
No.
Smoke a joint, I mean...
Smoke
it's
a joint,
legal here,
put the
so
eggs
I can
away.
say that. Yeah, and you're not gonna... These people are probably fueled by alcohol.
Yeah.
For most of this, I would say. Yeah.
Stop wasting eggs.
Yeah. Free the justice for the eggs. No.
You're driving up the price of eggs, kids these days. Oh.
But anyway, yeah, some like Carl were killed. Others who were hit with the eggs have killed the eggers.
Yep.
And some people have even died just trying to flee the scene of the egging.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just like running in the street or something.
It's dangerous. This is, and it's so, I like the irony of Carl's story that he didn't like to go out on Halloween, but was doing so, you know, to be with his girlfriend.
Yeah, to pick up her son.
Aww. Yeah.
It's awful.
So, apparently, officers in the 104th Precinct in Queens, New York, asked merchants not to sell eggs or shaving cream to minors the week of Halloween.
I was just gonna say, do they do something to curb this? It's like these poor people
so
at
much
home,
you can do.
At home trying to make an omelet the morning of Halloween. You're like, these stupid kids now can't even buy a dozen eggs in my neighborhood.
Yeah, good moms are not letting you take out the eggs that you have in your refrigerator either.
Lock that shit in the safe next to the gun.
Oh, God.
The eggs, the toilet paper, the shaving cream. What else?
It's obviously, it goes deeper than that. Obviously, the eggs with these people. But here's some other incidences.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 days, this was a quote from the I think from the New York Times article that I read. 2 days before Halloween in 1994, a man leaving a bar in Brooklyn was hit with eggs tossed by several boys. The man stabbed and killed one of the boys, a 12-year-old.
Oh my god, yeah. That's too much the other way.
This is rough. There's just a lot of anger in these people. There's got to be. I don't understand how you could let it escalate like that.
Do you remember,
Otherwise.
I think it's Wine and Crime, I'm pretty sure it would have been, they covered the case of the guy who the kids used to sit on his fence or whatever and just
that sounds familiar.
Yell at him or something, and they did this for like, all the neighborhood kids did it for like 30 years over like 3 generations.
Yeah,
And
they like to
stuff.
hang out. The hangout area was like near his land or whatever.
Yeah, and then he ended up like shooting and killing one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really reminds me of this. Or this
It's
really reminds
like-
me of that.
Yeah, some of that stuff's been allowed to get away with for far too long under those laws of like being allowed to protect your own land, but then it's like you still can't just shoot anyone that comes up to your door. As in your case and many others.
And is egging, like, 99% of the time, is egging gonna cause property damage? No, like, just get your hose and wash your fucking house off.
Yeah, as long as you get it off the car, I would say right away. You should be okay. I know it's not good for the paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in 1996, a 10-year-old Brooklyn boy was shot in the neck by a stray bullet after an egg fight on Halloween. Oof.
You brought a gun to an egg fight? What the heck?
It's like, how are these? Yeah, that's a problem. How are these young kids getting these guns?
Oh.
And then another small. These are like they're short instances to talk about, but it definitely is. It's I don't know. I guess worth talking about, but it's shitty to hear about. I'm sorry. But this other guy was a man named Joseph Padro, I think it's pronounced. And he was only 31 when he was shot and killed in the Bronx after he chased a couple of youths who egged his minivan. Padro was a married father of 2 whose brother had been a cop. And the boys, sentenced Eric Fuller and Jeffrey Ivy, were both arrested for the crime after being identified by some witnesses. The gun had belonged to Eric, but Eric said that Jeffrey pulled the trigger. But Jeffrey claimed that Eric handed him the gun and had told him to shoot. So Jeffrey, being scared of the bigger man, who was a man, 31, but yeah, he said he shot him in the leg and then gave the gun back to Eric and ran out of the enclosure. I think it was a parking garage, maybe. And he heard more shots fired as he ran. So Jeffrey's brother says that Jeffrey is slow and like not all there or whatever. I think he said, and would have been easily influenced. And Jeffrey was only 15 at the time. So regardless of who fired the shots, they were both convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 5 years to life.
Jeez.
So that was like your case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must have to do with the second-degree murder. Which is like, I don't know. I know, I get what those mean with regards to like premeditation and things like that, but it's still it seems like murder is murder. Yeah. No. So with that one, Jeff was paroled in 2018 at the age of 28, and Eric was paroled in 2015.
Jeez. Just reminds me, like, locally, I was like talking about it on Facebook, because there was a guy in the city I grew up in, somebody stole his vehicle out front of his house, and he saw them do it, and he ran out into the street after them, and then the person that stole his vehicle ran him over and killed him with his own vehicle.
What?
Yeah. And then, initially it was just being reported as like a pedestrian, like, hit and run. But then it came out that, like, this person, he had witnessed stealing his vehicle, and he chased them on foot, and then the person ran him over. And it just reminded me of, like, my old job in insurance. They told us, like, insurance is there to protect, like, your vehicle, so if somebody steals it or whatever, you aren't supposed to chase after them, because insurance will, like, bring you back your vehicle, but you have to, like, look after your safety first.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this guy, like, chasing them for egging his car or whatever just reminds me of that. Like, please protect you first. I get you're mad and you want to run after them and all that stuff, but safety, because you don't know what that other person could do. Like,
exactly. Or if you're trying to get revenge on them. Yeah. You're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah, much better to have an egged car than be shot and killed. I'm sure your family would agree. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's too bad sometimes just to even voice your opinion is enough for them to retaliate.
Yeah, if they have a weapon and stuff like that, you don't know how they're going to react to that. Oh.
Sorry, those two were harsh. So I added some padding of talking about Mischief Night, which is sort of like how we were talking about The Purge.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What's this?
Some places refer to the 30th of October as Mischief Night. Apparently.
I've never heard of this.
I hadn't either. Yeah, there's a little bit of information on which parts. It seems to be kind of a little pockets here and there, maybe that kind of have a version of it. So Wikipedia says Mischief Night is an informal holiday on which children and teenagers engage in pranks and vandalism. And it apparently is celebrated in parts of the US and Canada, and also the UK.
Oh, weird. Because even, like, I think they say, like, the UK, they don't even really do a huge thing about Halloween as compared to the US and Canada.
Right. Yeah. Definitely different. And, yeah, like, the same way that they don't have, Thanksgiving and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You know what, I meant to get some more confirmation. I was actually going to ask a friend that lives in the UK, but I forgot. It's been...
We've been a week.
Under pressure to get this stuff done.
I was telling Alanna to spend 13 hours working on our YouTube video yesterday before I finally got it to where I could post it. So...
Some of us are riding the struggle bus.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Oh. Yeah, so I don't know how much of this is still true or how much it's actually called this. I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
It seemed to be possibly celebrated in areas like New Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York State, Connecticut. Listeners, we have listeners in quite a few states now. Let us know.
Yeah. It
said in Baltimore that it might be called Moving Night because of people stealing porch furniture in particular.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was kind of funny, but wouldn't be funny if it happened to you.
No, it happened to my parents before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sucks, though.
It wasn't too bad. It was only a couple houses down. It was just like a bench in front of our house under the tree, and you can't even sit on the bench. It's like too rotted. And they just like picked it up. It was just kids walking home from school, and they picked it up and walked it a couple houses and then got tired of carrying it, so they just left it there.
Oh my god, lazy.
Yeah, but we used to get like the for sale signs and stuff they'd put and move around all the time. On my street.
Kids.
Yeah.
And porch pirates. Damn them.
Yeah. I had somebody steal my mail a month ago. I had to cancel one of my credit cards. Yeah. Because they stole a bill.
That's really fucked up.
Yeah. But I have a video doorbell, so I have a video of them doing it, but of course it's the one time.
Okay.
Oh, it's like 9:30 at night, and it's just when it was starting to get dark here. And they have their bicycle,
Right.
they have a baseball cap, and then they have a face mask. Like, and then, because they're wearing a face mask outside.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
to cover up their
thing with those
face.
videos. It's
Yeah.
annoying because you can't really do anything with it a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too hard to make them out at all. But, yeah.
Jeez. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Fun fact, it might have different names like Devil's Night, Gate Night, Goosey Night, Cabbage Night, and Mat Night.
Ooh, I may have heard Devil's Night before.
I think so. I think that one sounds a little familiar
Yeah,
too.
okay. Yeah.
I grabbed a little quote from the Wikipedia. In Detroit, which was particularly hard hit by Devil's Night, arson, and vandalism throughout the 1980s, many citizens take it upon themselves to patrol the streets to deter arsonists and those who may break the law. This is known as Angel's Night.
Oh, well, that's bad too. Cause then
To
you have,
patrol the streets. Yeah.
yeah, because then you have those people with guns thinking they're
Well,
cops.
Hopefully not.
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully they're not armed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, it said some 40,000 volunteer citizens patrol the city on Angel's Night, which usually runs October 29th through October 31st. Yeah, but that was kind of interesting. And then it said it might in Canada be in and around like Niagara Falls in Ontario, and that could be where they get the Cabbage Night comes from, the 50s and 60s. People like raiding rotting vegetables and hurling them at houses and things.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah, that would be so smelly.
Oh, so
Be terrible.
And in the United Kingdom, it is known as Mischief Night, I guess. I wanted to check. And in Yorkshire, some call it Mischievous Night. So the full version. Or the shortened Chivas Night. That's hard to say.
Chivas Night? Oh my god, I was just gonna
Like
say, we call it
mischievous.
Mischievous Night, because we're
Yeah.
fancy.
Exactly.
And then you threw Chivas Night at me.
Yeah, that rolls off the tongue.
Terrible.
Or Miggy Night, Tic Tac Night, Corn Night, Trick Night, or Mickey Night. And
Okay. Very few of
I
those
know.
were clever.
I have not fact checked any of these. I'm so sorry. Take it with a grain of salt or corn or whatever. Candy corn. It might be celebrated in Northern England on November 4th, the night before Bonfire Night.
Remember the 5th of November.
Right. With the Guy Fawkes. I think it's also called Guy Fawkes Night.
I think so.
I think that's the same one. And I was going to ask my friend that lives in Liverpool if it was really called Mizzy Night there.
Mizzy?
Jay? Mizzy, yeah. Jay, are you listening?
Yeah.
Is it called Mizzy Night?
Let us know.
Let us know. And it is known in Welsh as Noson Drigioni, and in Scottish Gaelic as, nope, not going to say this right, Oidish Nan Clias. There's no way. You could read Gaelic, but it doesn't look like what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So the origin is debated about this Mischief Night, but one theory is that it goes back to 1790 when, quote, when fellows of St. John's College studied a headmaster who had encouraged a school play which praises children's tricks on Mischief Night in most approving terms. Maybe? I don't know.
I feel like you shouldn't be praising people for vandalism, but okay.
Especially a headmaster.
Yeah.
In a really old college. But another theory was that, yeah, that one goes back farther, but this is that it could have stemmed from the Great Depression, from Black Tuesday, the day the U.S. stock market crash was October 29th, 1929. And I guess a lot of mischief and crap would have happened that day, but I don't know. That's just a theory.
That one seems a little... That one doesn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah, and it doesn't go back very far either.
Yeah. I would have thought that it would have started in, like, the 90s or something. I wouldn't think it would have started that long ago.
And especially now with, like, movies like The Purge, it would get bigger.
Because I was going to ask you, did this come before or after The Purge? Is this, like, kids just being like, oh, give us a night, just like you did in Purge?
Nobody really knows.
Weird.
I couldn't resist a title of clickbaitiness, like 10 Halloween pranks that went horribly and tragically wrong.
Oh my god. No!
Oh god. Are you ready? I have not read all of these through all the way. I'm kind of cold reading. But this is... It's so funny because the synchronicities... I know it's Halloween season, but we put out our episode that came out yesterday as we record this, so October 1st, was about, it featured the Stanley Hotel, and then so did one of the other podcasts in our group, our friends group on Instagram, did something about the Stanley Hotel too. And I was like, weird.
That's happened a few times.
It's so funny. I always find that stuff funny. And then I knew we were recording this one, and then I think I had seen someone else was featuring something about pranks, and I was like, what? No way. But this is a list from, so this isn't like Ranker. I know there's lists on Ranker. This is like Goliath? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
There's no way to know.
I can't see it on the page. Okay, so number 10. Dangling from roof trick results in fire department visit.
What?
Ugh. A few years ago, a family in North Carolina decided to hang a dummy from their second-story roof to make it look like a person had slipped while cleaning their gutters and was now holding on for dear life.
Oh my god. Yep, that'll do it.
You're the dummies. Okay. The dummy was apparently dressed in real jeans, a sweater, and tennis shoes. However, mirth quickly turned to mayhem when a neighbor who was out walking their dog spotted the dummy hanging from the roof, freaked out, and immediately called the local fire department. Oh. By the time the family that perpetrated the prank realized what had happened, the fire department was set up in front of their house and had a ladder extended all the way to their roof while shouting, "Hang on, help has arrived."
Oh. That just reminds me, where is it? Prague? I think it's in Prague. My friend, he visited there when he was living in London, and he was telling me about the weird statues that they have, because they have statues all over, and they're like the weirdest things. And one of them is somebody, they have like a permanent statue that's on top of one of their really tall buildings, and it's like off kind of, I don't quite know if it's like a flagpole that's sticking out or what, but they have like a fake metal like workman that like slipped and is holding on for dear life. Like,
no!
And it's like a permanent thing the city put, because they have a lot of weird statues there. And that just reminded me of that. Because people do call 911 being like, help, there's a worker that like is hanging onto the flagpole.
Woof, that's morbid.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad for that neighbor walking past, though. They probably thought this person really was gonna fall.
Exactly. It does play on people's sensibilities, and it's not very nice.
Yeah, I'd assume, though, standing there, if you were standing there for a couple minutes and it didn't move.
Yeah. Or maybe don't be so trigger happy to pull out your cell phone.
Yeah. Or, like, if you said, hey, are you okay? Hey there. Like,
yeah,
I can call for help. What's going on? And they're not answering or moving. Yeah.
Throw a rock at them.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I should give credit to. I can't see the website, but this list was by Jack Sackman.
Okay.
That's a great name, by the way. Jack Sackman.
Sackman.
All right. Number 9. Police assume man was really run over by his lawnmower.
No! Oh, that's so dangerous.
Yeah, let's see if anyone dies. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you haven't read through these. It's so funny.
Oh no.
I thought you
Let's see if it doesn't bite me in the ass. In the vein of domestic accident pranks gone wrong, how about this one? Another family decided to use a dummy to stage a horrifying accident involving their ride-on lawnmower. The merry pranksters placed the dummy underneath the lawnmower on their front lawn so that only the arms and legs were visible from underneath the machine. They then covered the arms and legs with red paint to simulate blood so that it appeared to everyone who passed by that the dummy... Oh, it got cut off a little. They assumed it was real until one of the cops attempted to approach it. Sorry.
Oh.
It got cut off a little with the page.
Oh, it's alright.
But, it seems like everyone made it out okay.
Jeez.
Sorry. Damn it. See? Bit me in the ass. Alright, well, maybe I'll just do the ones that are in the middle of the page then.
Sure.
So, man keeps armed robber costume on while going to Starbucks.
Oh my god. That's not safe.
Not all Halloween costumes are ghosts and skeletons. Take, for example, the man from Lansing, Michigan, who went to a neighbor's party dressed as an armed robber, complete with a skull mask, bulletproof vest, and fake M16 assault rifle. Oh no.
Holy fuck, what is wrong with this person? Oh my...
Buddy.
Get better Halloween
Buddy.
costumes.
Fake assault rifle.
What the fuck?
The party went great, but after a few drinks, the man, while walking home, decided to stop in at the local Starbucks for a non-fat latte to help him sober up.
Sorry.
Unfortunately.
A non-fat latte.
I hope that part is true.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the semi-drunk man was still wearing his armed robber costume. Customers screamed, the barista hit the floor, and the cashier raised her hands above her head, but not before triggering the store alarm. The startled man was left explaining himself to police who arrived on the scene. After seeing that the man had money in his wallet to pay for his coffee and that the M16 was fake, police let the Halloween reveler head home, but only after they confiscated his very believable costume.
Yes. Oh, that's like a really bad thing, is like replica weapons and stuff. That's how a bunch of little kids get killed. Because they walk down the street with replica weapons and then people call the police on them and they get shot and killed because they can't tell from far away if it's a fake weapon or not.
There was that freaking person who was dressed up like a stormtrooper here in Alberta. Wasn't it somewhere in Alberta, like Red Deer maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong, but and they got like put to the ground by police officers because they were in such a good costume and they had the gun looked real enough. I was like, that shit doesn't even usually happen in Canada,
Yeah.
but like it's sad when it ends. Shitty.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't sell any... I think you shouldn't be able to get fake like replica guns for any reason.
Yeah.
Shouldn't sell them for Halloween costumes, shouldn't sell them in toy stores, nothing.
It's not great. It doesn't say great things about us, no.
No.
I'm just seeing if this one is okay. Dad decides to scare kids by pretending to kill their mom.
What the fuck is wrong with you? No!
Have you ever seen the Arrested Development where they use the guy that has no arm to scare the kids? To pretending like...
But that's like your father's killing your mother.
Oh my god.
That's not somebody's losing a limb. That's slightly different. Oh my god.
That's true. Yeah, this is way worse.
What the fuck?
So,
people need to think of better ideas as pranks.
I can't believe this one's real.
Oh my god.
It said... So, domestic violence should never be taken lightly.
No.
Which is what one father found out the hard way after he decided to give his young children, ages 6 and 8, a good Halloween fright by pretending to kill their mother.
Whoa, yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Not okay. This dude is
way too young.
Up. Yeah, you're gonna give your 6-year-old, like... oh, your 6-year-old's gonna have such problems. Oh my god. That'd be as traumatic as witnessing a real
really
murder,
sad.
even if the kid learns it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
It's your parents. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. This guy has something wrong with him in the head.
Yeah, Dad of the Year apparently donned a Michael Myers mask, which Pat has one of those, and when he puts that on in his coveralls, oh, he looks
Yeah.
very much like Michael Myers. I could post to our Instagram to prove it, but he would never do this.
No.
He proceeded to strangle his wife in front of their kids.
What?
The whole thing was fake, of course, and Mom was in on the prank. However, the kids have issues to this day.
Okay, as much problem as I have with the dad, I have almost as much problem with the mom going along with it.
Yeah, they're both completely complicit.
Like, what happened to, people pranking their dogs by holding up a bed sheet and then disappearing on the dog? Like, how do you get from that? Or putting a pickle or cucumber or whatever behind a cat so the cat gets scared? Like, what? How do we go from...
I've not seen that one.
Oh, they're pretty funny. It happens every time. They, jump 10 feet in the air. But, how do we get from that to you pretending to strangle your wife in front of your children? Like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, I'm pro harmless prank. I have a friend who's a big fan of the pop out of the closet, to her husband, friends, whomever. She would scare us at work a lot,
oh my
too.
god, that would scare me. I wouldn't like that. I don't like jump scares in real life.
No, and see, that's the thing is, I think if you didn't like it, she wouldn't do it to you.
Yeah.
There's a difference, definitely, between, some people and these people.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, I have a problem with the husband and the wife.
You're gonna have a problem with this teacher, too.
Oh my god, no.
Teacher bursts into classroom while revving a real chainsaw.
Yeah. What
the fuck? This is like a Simpsons scene.
Yeah. How?
A teacher...
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry.
I don't understand how the teacher got on the grounds. You're worried about kids bringing, guns to school, and you have a teacher bringing a real chainsaw to school? Oh my god.
Maybe it was Stephen King. No, this is Massachusetts, apparently. A teacher at Taunton High School in Massachusetts thought he figured out a great way to get students into the Halloween spirit. He brought...
Sorry. Wow.
He brought a real chainsaw to the school, pulled the ripcord, and then burst into a classroom of 15-year-old students wearing a ski mask and revving the chainsaw to max throttle. Jesus.
These people need serious therapy, because there's something wrong with, their
Did none
brains.
of his colleagues see him, just making his way down the hallway, hey, Fred?
Yeah, he could have very well triggered the entire school to go in, active shooter.
That's
lockdown.
True.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure when this was.
Yeah, there's absolutely no fun in traumatizing children.
No, that's not great. Not a great look, buddy. The stampede of students that ensued was so bad that one person broke his leg while clambering over a desk.
Oh. Yep. I hope they sued that teacher right into the dirt. I would have.
Hard. Yeah. Once surprised to this stunt, several parents of the traumatized students launched a lawsuit against the school board, high school, and teacher who perpetrated the prank.
Good.
Apparently, the family of the kid with the broken leg settled out of court for $100,000. Trick or treat.
Yep.
Wow. One sec. Here's a... Oh my god, this is an egg one? Hang on. Oh, shit. Damn it, some of it got a little cut off. So this one is basically teen eggs local electricity station and cuts power to 8,000 residents.
Oh my god.
I just have to say, even if it cut off a little at the end, it ties into my eggs theme. It said this tried and true prank took an enormous turn for a 15-year-old Pennsylvania youth in 2006. For some inexplicable reason, the teen in question thought it would be funny to egg the local electric company substation in his town at Halloween. However, the combination of egg splatter and rain that was pouring down at the time caused a massive explosion that practically destroyed the electric substation and knocked out power to 8,000 people in the, I'm going to say area, because that's when it cuts off.
Jeez.
Wow.
I mean...
Okay, buddy.
Not as a bad... Well, that wasn't his intention, but wasn't as bad as it could have been. But...
Yeah, it wasn't a chainsaw.
Yeah, but still. Oh my god. Just go egg a tree in, like, fucking park, okay? Or a park bench. Be, like, aiming at power plants.
Yeah. You're gonna get the same satisfaction of seeing it break.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Then we have... Woman successfully sues neighbor for defamation over Halloween yard display.
That Modern Family.
Oh, with the penis-y statue?
Oh, I don't think I've gotten there yet, but when the awful neighbors, those redneck neighbors move in, right when they move in, and they're supposed to have Candyland or whatever, and then she goes crazy.
Yes.
Goes crazy and, like, makes the whole yard into, like, a sane asylum, and then, like, the one lady next door goes, I spent time in an asylum, and then they get all sad, and then you find out they just said that because their display was better. They wanted her to take it down.
And Phil comes home all, oh no, what did you do? What happened to Awesome Land?
Yeah, that's what it was, Awesome Land. Yeah. Oh.
That's a great one. Especially when he's like, after talking about her time in the mental institution, sometimes the only thing we can do is give her a box of Captain Crunch and sit her in front of the fish tank. So weird. Alright, so this, to no one's surprise, happened in Florida.
Oh god.
A woman in Florida ended up successfully suing her neighbor for... Oh, did I say this? No, sorry. A woman in Florida ended up successfully suing her neighbor for defamation, harassment, and emotional distress after the man next door set up a Halloween display that made her the butt of jokes. The offending neighbor put a sign on his lawn for an insane asylum that pointed to the woman's yard.
Oh, what? Really? That's all it was?
Erected,
was one sign?
No, a plastic tombstone back read, at 48 she had no mate, no date. It's no debate. She looks 88. Woof.
Yeah, I would have egged his house.
Yeah. The woman had the last laugh after she sued the pants off the rude neighbor and got him to promise in court that he would not erect any more Halloween displays while living next door to her. Some people.
Jeez.
That's really telling of your character.
Yeah, that's pretty rude. I'm happy she sued him and she won.
Yeah. Prankster spikes Halloween punch with Visine eye drops with tragic results. Oh dear.
Yes, that kills people. I watched
Really?
Was it on Forensic Files? But that's like a legit poison people use. Is eye drops.
Crazy, and we put it in our eyes? Oh my god.
Well, you have to...
I thought
you have to
give
drink,
you diarrhea
like,
or something.
I think it has to be like almost a whole bottle or more than a bottle or something.
Wow. In 2009, a woman in Granville, New York, was charged with a misdemeanor after her Halloween prank ended up killing her friend. Oh. Inspired by a prank she had seen on television, a 49-year-old woman decided to spike the punch at a Halloween party she was attending with Visine eye drops. Lady.
Why can't you spike it with, like, a little bit of alcohol like a normal person?
Yeah, no kidding.
Or put, like, fucking something even funnier in it, like freaking pickle juice. Something. Oh my god.
I would even allow a little hallucinogens, but no, this is tragic. Do not try things you see on TV. I can't believe a 49-year-old woman would have to be told that.
Yeah. Oh.
Apparently the prankster thought the Visine would make her friend woozy and ill. However, Visine causes serious medical issues for people who drink it, including respiratory failure.
Yeah.
The woman who was pranked had no idea what was happening to her, but she quickly collapsed after drinking the Visine and later died. Several other people at the party became seriously ill. The woman who spiked the punch with Visine was later charged with misdemeanor assault causing bodily harm. Sad but true. Wow.
So she wasn't charged with, like, fucking murder? She should have been.
Or manslaughter. No.
Yeah. Misdemeanor causing bodily harm. Bodily harm is not the same as, like, death.
Yeah, misdemeanor makes it sound like we could have covered it on our petty crimes episode. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ugh. And the last one's the worst one.
No.
And I think you can guess it. Teenager hangs himself to death in front yard while trying to prank his sister.
No.
Why would you think that was a good idea?
Unless the hanging had nothing to do with it. Maybe? No?
It doesn't get more tragic than this one. In 2013, a teenager in Kentucky accidentally hung himself to death while trying to stage a Halloween prank. Jordan Moreland, age 16 of Louisville, was apparently trying to prank his sister on Halloween by pretending to hang himself in a tree on the family's front yard.
Oh my god.
However, the prank turned to tragedy when Jordan slipped and hung himself to death for real.
Oh. No.
Oh no, this is the worst part. Sadly, the family didn't believe Jordan was in trouble when they initially saw him hanging in the tree, as they assumed he was pulling another in a series of Halloween pranks. Guy. Yeah, this kind of stuff is crazy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just nuts.
You shouldn't ever... Pranks where people think you are dead are not funny ever. So don't bother.
I mean, yeah, like, I'm sure they didn't condone his behavior, but yeah, this is why people really, like, parents really need to be the ones making sure that your kid's not going to do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to blame them, but sounds like he'd done a few things like that before, you know?
Yeah,
by the time
to minor things.
Exactly.
To not go to faking deaths or suicides.
It's not funny.
No.
By the time they realized the prank had gone wrong, it was too late. Paramedics were unable to revive Jordan, and after spending several days in a coma, he died. An honor student, Jordan had planned to join the Marines after high school. An honor student?
Yeah, he was such a smart kid. What the frick was he doing?
Right?
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry to end it on that note, but you know what I mean? We do have, not to be cliche, but we have a platform, and if anything we ever say helps somebody not do something stupid that might result in something stupider, then I hope, you know, that helps, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, pranks where you are pretending to die, you're pretending to kill someone, or you're pretending that you're going to harm someone, or
just you're trying to make someone ill.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not funny.
I would never do that to you.
Thanks, I wouldn't either.
I would never drug you. Unless you asked me to.
Yeah. I would supply you drugs and you can drug yourself.
That's right, I will get you drunk if you want. Yeah, that can be arranged. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We hope you're enjoying the spooky October.
Yeah, and next week we are doing some of my favorite things, favorite horror movies, favorite things about Halloween and just creepiness is exorcisms.
Yay! Exorcist.
Yeah. I think exorcisms and like demonic possessions are just some of the creepiest things.
Yep. It can be so disturbing to watch those films when they fucking,
all of it.
Puke and speak in tongues and
all
the herky-jerky movements. We're not a fan of the herky-jerky.
No, I'm not a fan of somebody doing, what is it called, the bridge or whatever, where you have like your
Yeah.
hands and your feet, and then your like back is up.
Yeah, they're like crab walking and doing all
Yeah.
sorts of contortionism and nope.
The sounds
Nope,
of
it's not
bones
supposed to bend that way.
popping out of sockets. And oh
my
yep.
god. Maybe our next we've been doing some watch parties for Patreon videos, and maybe our next one should be an exorcism themed, I don't know, something spooky.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
But yeah, tune in next week for exorcisms.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one.
And
bye.
thanks for listening. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. We would love it.
Yes. Yes, please. Especially if you're enjoying our extra creepy October.
It really helps, yeah. Helps get it out there. Catch you next time.
Bye. This has been Castles and Cryptids. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and our YouTube channel. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. On our website, you can listen to all of our episodes as well as view pictures for each of our segments. Check out our Patreon page to view all of our tiers and become a Patreon supporter today to unlock monthly bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes content. We are working on an Ask Us Anything. You can submit questions by social media or by email at castlesandcryptids@gmail.com. Do you have a spooky ghost story, a creepy cryptid sighting, or a thrilling true crime tale you would like to share and have us include in a future episode? Send us your listener story by social media or by email. Please include the name that you would like mentioned. Our music is by Kobe Fair. Our logo and artwork is by Antonio Garcia. Thanks for listening.